Hello, and welcome to Evergreen Learning Spotlight. Here in Evergreen Public Schools, we believe that all students can graduate with the skills to be world competitive when we provide them with a meaningful learning environment and teachers and staff who challenge them to reach their full potential. This program gives you the opportunity to see firsthand the extraordinary work that teachers and students are doing in our classrooms each and every day. Today, I'm fortunate to be joined by 3 students and a teacher from Heritage High School, and let's meet them now. I have Eric Muma, who is the freshman focus teacher at Heritage, Dalia Truta, Derek Charkaloff, and Adelia Chavez. Welcome. So Eric, I'm going to start with you. Briefly describe for us, what is Freshman Focus and how does the class work?
All right. Well, Freshman Focus is a class we created to help students succeed and transition smoothly from middle school into high school. Okay. So we take them for 1 semester and identified what are the key skills that they need to be successful in high school. Organization, how to do research, how to find the answers they need regardless of what class it is.
What's the goal? What's the outcome?
Our purpose is to introduce them to the rigor of high school. Teachers expecting them to meet deadlines, how to find answers for themselves, and how to develop the skills to be successful, whether they're in the classroom or in the real world.
Now, this sounds like a great idea. So how long has this been going on at Heritage?
We are in our 2nd year at Heritage High School. It originated when we were looking at what can we do to help our students succeed. We were kind of concerned about some of the sagging grades as they transitioned from middle school into high school. They kind of hit that proverbial wall, and we were saying, what can we do to help them over that hump so that they can meet the expectations that high school has for them? So we started to say, look, these are some of the key points that we need to address, and we were able to combine that into one class that we have the majority of all of our freshmen go through and participate in.
Now, I know this is also tied in with AVID. Could you talk a little bit about what AVID is and how the two go together?
Definitely. AVID is a program at Heritage High School, stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. What we're trying to do is help students recognize that I can progress and that I do it under my own accord, not that other people are always prodding me, so that they can set themselves up for success. Specifically, our end goal being, I will attend and graduate a 4-year college or university. Okay. So Freshman Focus was a derivative where we said, here's what our freshmen AVID are learning, basic skills, academic skill building. We took that and condensed it down into a semester-long class. We start with looking at organization skills, how to set goals, how to use a planner, how to stay organized by using a Freshman Focus binder. Then we progress into looking at research skills. So whether you're in math, science, history, how do I use a library? How do I find information on the internet? And how do I process it to support my stance? And then lastly, we culminate that into a research project where we take organization skills, research skills, and then personal synthesis and put it all into one big package. And it's been very successful. We've really enjoyed it.
And it's a semester class, so...
It is a 1-semester class.
Okay.
We also use it to help identify students who might be struggling. What we can also do, we try to keep it fluid, so if we notice a student that's lagging with something, we can give them the attention that they need. And if it's a class they really enjoy, we can definitely look at inviting them to join our AVID classes, which will then build upon those foundational blocks, okay, preparing them for college.
Great. I think before I talk with you students, let's take a look at a PowerPoint and talk a little bit about what the class is, and then I'll be back and talk with you. Now, you've talked about the binders and the planners.
Correct. What we do, part of AVID is that they require them to maintain a binder, kind of like we did in elementary school. Oftentimes we find ourselves scattered or juggling so many different tasks that we lose focus. And so what we do is we take all of that, put it in one binder, just like we did in elementary school. We also teach them how to use a planner, how to write down my daily schedule. Here's my homework, here's my due dates, so that when they go home at night, we're not just relying upon our memory, but have a record of saying, this is what I'm doing. It's also great to bring the involvement with parents, because they can look at it and say, wow, this is what my student's doing. It's not just, this ambiguous thing, I'm at school and that's it. But we can say, here's a project, that's great. I love seeing what you're accomplishing. So skills that will help them carry on through their life. Definitely.
Now, what are some of the activities here that are going on in Freshman Focus class?
Oh, we use a wide variety. One that we use the beginning of each class is we have them respond to what we call a daily spark, which gives them practice to kind of put their mind in the right frame of mind for our specific class. It gives them practice writing, making a connection to some of the work that they're doing. And these are simple questions that we talk about. It might be just answering a question, what do you think about this? It might be, give me an example from your personal life and explain why. So that we're trying to get them to think more outside the box. Instead of just saying the answer is 12, we can say, I believe this because, and then give evidence supporting their reasons.
So looking at some of the questions like about books and movies and...
Exactly. This is a simple one that can spur a great discussion. Should books be rated when we see all these other forms of media rated? Kids don't have to do research, but they have an opinion on this. Let's share that opinion and let's develop that further. A lot of times we're not concerned in the actual answer, but the processes that we're using to derive that. Critical thinking skills is huge to be able to say, this is why. That's fine if you agree with me or not, but why is that? And then we can build upon that, and it inspires us to work better in class.
That's great.
Other activities that we've looked at beyond our daily sparks is we do things with philosophical chairs is one, where it's basically a simple debate where we haven't researched out, but that every student has an opinion on, and it gives us a chance to try to convince others, be persuasive. Again, it teaches us how to create a thesis, a main idea, how to support our ideas, and realize our ideas can change. As we break the class into two sides and they argue and debate these topics, they can change as they realize, oh, I hadn't thought about it that way. I do agree with you now. But it's a chance to express themselves and just create a safe environment that they feel they can communicate with their peers in.
And so these are some of them that, like video games.
Exactly.
And...
should parents have access to the kids' MySpace or Facebook? Off the one hand, they'll say, well, of course not. But then as we start listening to the reasons, some students will say, yeah, that is a good idea. We're causing them to think deeper, delve into a topic a little bit more. Brings up some great philosophical discussions.
It looks like it. It would be interesting to sit in class and listen to some of those.
It gets loud, it gets busy, but it is always a really good experience, and students always come back saying, when can I do that again? Right. And we try to use activities that get them thinking and excited about a world they know, not what we're trying to tell them.
And then they spend time researching things on the computer.
Definitely. We try to connect all that knowledge. So for example, we do a project with alternative energy. So we are working not only within our classes like science, we talk to the science department about it, but then the community, we hear about an energy crisis. What's this mean? What are alternative fuels? We talk about history. We do a genocide project, not the most pleasant topic, but it lets them realize.
That's in the media.
Yeah, they're hearing things about Rwanda and Darfur, and they're realizing there's a world outside of Heritage High School or Vancouver, Washington. That's
great. So turn to the students now. Start with you, Dahlia. Talk to us a little bit about what happens in a typical day or a week in your freshman focus class.
Well, like every day when we come to class, he will always have a question, like a role question. He'll ask each student, which will like pump up the class, make them more like interested. And then we would just he'll tell us what our agenda is for the day, and then he'll tell us what we have to do. And then usually on Mondays we have like a day where we catch up on work, and we have like a one-on-one with the teacher, and then he'll tell us, we'll have to show him our goals we made, our binders and our planners, and then he'll talk to us about how we need to improve if we have like bad grades and stuff like that.
And you're a freshman this year, and how long have you been in this class?
Almost a semester.
Great. Derek, you're a sophomore this year, so you took this class last year. Mm-hmm. How are your classes going this year?
Actually, really well. Before sophomore year and freshman year, I was actually not exactly the best, best student grades-wise. I was actually had really bad grades. Then I went into freshman focus, and I learned how to be more organized, learned how to keep a binder together without losing papers. And
so do you think you're more successful now because you took freshman focus?
Yeah, a whole lot successful.
And are you using some of those skills currently?
Yeah.
All right. Adalia, what specific skills did you learn in freshman focus that you're using now? Because you're also a sophomore this year, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I learned a lot about organization. That was the main thing that I learned, because we always had to use our planners, and I use my planner every day. We have to keep organized with our binders. We have tabs, and we have to make sure we put all of our work in there. And also, we learned the different games, and then we learned our missing work reports. We had to do those. We had to turn them in, I believe it was every Tuesday. It was Monday or Tuesday. We had to turn one in, and so now I use that this year. I'll do my own missing work reports, and I highlight what I need to do and what needs to be turned in.
Have you used any of the skills you learned in this class outside of school?
Yeah, I write down the stuff I have going on, all the events I have going on the weekend, and what my mom will ask me to do if she needs me to take my brother to like walk him to his school or anything. And I use it a lot.
Derek, what activities do you think were especially valuable to you, and why?
I actually really like the philosophical chairs and the Daily Sparks. Philosophical chairs I liked because it got me more into explaining my ideas and how to go about that. And the Daily Sparks, it got me better at writing and putting my ideas on paper, and it got me more interested in what to learn that day.
And Dahlia, since you're currently in the class, what's been the most challenging assignment you've had this year?
The one I think is one of the projects we did. The one was the energy project. I had like one of the more difficult ones, and I didn't really like researching all those things, and I thought that was the most.
So Dahlia, I know this is just being offered at Heritage High School. As someone who's gone through the class, do you think that this is something that should be offered to ninth graders across the district, or is it a worthwhile class, do you think?
I think so. It helped me a lot last year. I had it first semester, and it helped me stay really organized, and my grades were really good. And then second semester, I didn't take that class because it's only a one semester class, and so the next semester I didn't have it, and my grades went down. I wasn't as organized. I didn't turn my work in all the time. And then this year, I'm now an AVID, and it originated from all that. And so now I'm a lot more organized, and I use my planner, and my binder is organized, and my grades are really good, and I turn all my work in.
That's great. Eric, I'm going to go back to you. We're in education, so talk to me about the data. Is the class working? Are we seeing an improvement? I mean, the students sound very enthusiastic, but...
It really has. It's been very beneficial to us. We know for a fact, we do a program where we track their grades every other week. We're looking at all their classes, because again, we're supporting everything, not just our own course. And we've been able to create, individual plans to say, what are we doing to bring it up? Roughly, we've seen a decrease of about 30% in our failure rate amongst some of our students. That's pretty drastic. Now, this is our second year, and so what we're now doing is looking at those sophomores and saying, how are their grades doing versus other classes that we've had, and then also, are they still utilizing those skills? I believe so. We definitely see when talking to our dean of students and our administrators, they're saying, why are they doing this? And even if grades aren't directly being impacted, it's creating a lot of discussions. Our students are saying, yes, I know why I'm not doing as well. I need to go back to the basics. I need to use the skills that were taught to me. So, it makes it conscious of what they're doing.
That's great. Well, I congratulate you for getting this program started, and congratulations to the students. It sounds like you're doing great work, and we'd encourage you to keep it up. Thanks for joining me today.